Good morning. Today we're going to start working with expressions. So, an expression is a mathematical phrase that can contain variables, numbers, also known as constants, and operations. Okay, so here is an example of an expression, and we're going to label the various parts as it tells you to on your notes page. Okay, so this right here is called a term. This is also called a term. Okay, it doesn't have to have a variable on it. Okay, this, of course, this is our variable. Okay, and this number here is called our coefficient. Okay, it's what we're multiplying our variable by. Coefficient. And our other number over here is 12. This is our constant. Okay, so now that we've got all of these labeled, oh, and one more thing I forgot to label. Of course, I think you guys would already know what this is. This, of course, is our operation. Okay, there's also another operation between the coefficient and the variable, which is multiplication. So it does have two operations in this one expression. All right, so terms can be classified as like or unlike terms. Okay, expressions can be simplified by combining the like terms. We cannot take an expression and combine everything in it. We can only combine together what is like. It's kind of like if we were trying to count how many apples, oranges, and bananas we have. We wouldn't count them all together. We would want a total for apples, a total for oranges, and a total for bananas. Okay, so like terms must have the same variable and the same exponents. Okay, so 7x and 9x are like terms. Because they both have the same variable, they do not have to have the same number, just the same variable. And we see it right here. They both have an x. Okay? And the 4D and 4G are not like terms because they do have different variables. Okay, so be careful with that. So, an exponent. Of course, you guys probably have worked with exponents before, but part of it did say it has to have the same exponent. So you guys see I've got 4 to the 5th power. Because they have the, if the base was 4 to the 2nd power, I could combine those, or I could not combine them because they have different exponents. And the other thing is this 3x squared. Sometimes you're going to have like a 3x or a 1x or whatever, or you might have 3x to the 3rd power. These are not like terms because this number has to be the same for all of them. Okay, so be careful with that. So here are some examples, and we're just determining which ones out of the group are like. Okay, so right here we see we have 8c and negative 8c. These are like terms. The other two are not like because they do not have the same variable. Okay, and again, our next set, these are like terms. And our next set, we've got 9y, 5z, and 9w. There are no like terms because none of them have the same variable. All right, and then we have 11g and negative 7g. Okay, and then in our next group, we've got half times t and 1.5 times t. And then our next group, we've got 1m and m. And these two are actually exactly the same thing because when we don't have a coefficient in front of our variable, it does mean that imaginary number that we see would be a 1. Okay, so those are actually equivalent terms. All right, and then our next one, we've got 4b, b and 9b. And our last one, we've got the 0 and the negative 8. Those would be like terms. Okay. Here's our next set. It's just asking, are these like terms or unlike? Okay, these don't have the same exponent, so these are unlike. Okay, these, b and 3b are like, 6 and 9 are like, negative 3r and negative 3p are unlike because they don't have the same variable on it. And then we have 13k and 13k squared. These are unlike. They have to have the same exponent. Same here. They have different exponents. They are unlike. And these are like because they all C, 4c, and 8c. And then the last one, 16, 0, and negative 9 are all like terms. Okay? So now we're going to work on actually taking and combining like terms. We can only combine terms that are alike. Okay? So I use different colors or I use different shapes so that I can kind of classify each one. The first thing I always tell my students to do is if you have a subtraction within the problem, and this first one we do, we go ahead and change it to adding the opposite. It's easier to work with all addition. Okay, so I have 7a minus 6 plus 8a. So I'm going to change that to adding the opposite, which is 7a plus negative 6 plus 8a. Okay, and then I just take and I identify what is alike in this. I have a 7a and I have 8a. So I can add those together. Okay, and I can't put the negative 6 with those because it is different. So when I put these together, 7a plus 8a, we're just adding together our coefficients. So 7 plus 8 is 15a, and then plus negative 6. I could also write it 15a minus 6. These are the same expression. Okay, here's our next one, 14b plus 6b minus 12. And again, I just always tell you guys, go ahead and change it to adding the opposite because it just makes it easier. All right, and then I'm going to identify my like terms, 14b and 6b, which is 20b, and then plus negative 12. Again, I could write it minus 12. They're the same expression. All right, now I have 20c plus 8d plus plus 10c minus 5d. I'm going to go ahead and change it, adding the opposite. Then I'm going to identify my like terms. Okay, I have 20c, 10c. These have the same variable, so they are like. Okay, and you guys don't have to rewrite the whole problem. I'm only doing it to show you what you would do so that you would know how to combine these together. Okay, and then I have 8d and negative 5d. Okay, so then I'm just going to take and add these first two. 20c plus 10c is 30c. And then I've got 8d plus negative 5d, which gives me 3d because I'm subtracting. Okay, so 30c plus 3d. Right, moving forward, here's our next set. Okay, all of these are the same, so I can just go ahead and combine. Negative 3d plus 8d minus 5d. You go ahead and change it to adding the opposite. So negative 3d plus 8d gives me 5d, and 5d plus negative 5d gives me 0. Alright, here's our next one, 3e minus 19 minus 7e plus 10. Go ahead and change it. Alright, and I have 3e and negative 7e. Okay, and then I have negative 19 plus 10. Okay, this would give me negative 4e. You guys don't forget your integer rules from the first unit. All right, and then we have negative 19 and positive 10, which gives me negative 9. And I can rewrite that negative for e, minus 9. Those are equivalent expressions. Okay, and our last one, negative 4f minus 9 minus f plus 15. Okay, go ahead and change it. All right, let's identify. These are like terms. So negative 4f, and that kind of plus negative f. Okay, and then we've got negative 9 and positive 15. Alright, so we're going to put them together, combine them. So negative 4f, remember I told you guys this would like have that imaginary 1 in front of it. So negative 4f plus negative 1f gives me negative 5f. And then I've got negative 9 plus 15, which gives me positive 6. Okay? I want you guys to try the next 3 as far as part of your homework. I have written the steps here. You can write this down if this helps you. Do the next 3 problems and submit that as part of your homework. You will also have your homework sheet. If you have any questions, you can email me. I will be available Zoom by appointment only for this week because I do have speech practice after school. Okay, I will see you guys later. Have a great day.